Lesson 9.5, Fundamental Counting Principle. If event M has M possible outcomes and event N has N possible outcomes, then event M followed by event N has Mn possible outcomes. So you can use multiplication, and instead of making a tree diagram to find the number of possible outcomes in a sample space, this is called the fundamental counting principles. Okay? So if we look at example A, find the total number of outcomes when choosing from bike helmets that come in 3 colors and 2 styles. So when we use the fundamental counting principle, what we are doing is figuring out how many possible outcomes. So we need to figure out how many options do we have every choice that we are given. So in example A here, we're finding bike helmets that come in 3 colors and 2 styles. Okay? So we have 3 options of colors, so we would take 3 times we have 2 different options for styles. So we take 3 times 2, which is 6, so we would have 6 outcomes. Okay, the other thing we can do with the fundamental counting principle is we can find probability again. So if we look at example B, 2 number cubes are rolled. What is the probability that the sum of the numbers of the cubes is 12? How likely is it that the sum would be 12? Okay, so we first need to ask ourselves, well, what is the probability of getting a 12 on a die? So we need to figure out, well, how many possibilities do we have altogether? Okay, so we roll 1 number cube. There's 6 options, there's 1 through 6, so we have 6 possibilities in the first number cube, times, we roll it again, we have 6 more options. So we have 36 possible outcomes we could have by rolling 2 different number cubes. So then we need to ask ourselves, we need to know the probability of rolling the sum of 12 with the 2 number cubes. So when we roll a dice, how many times can we add up to 12? Well, it can only happen once. It's 6 plus 6. So we would say our probability of rolling a 12 is 1 out of the 36, because only 1 time we could add up to 12 out of our 36 different possibilities. And then it says, how likely is it that the sum would be 12? It's unlikely, because there's not a very good chance it'll happen. Okay, one more problem. If we look over at the guided practice number 1, okay, use the fundamental counting principle to find the number of outcomes for tossing a quarter, a dime, and a nickel. Again, when we're finding the number of outcomes with the fundamental counting principle, we need to figure out or ask ourselves, how many different options do we have with every choice? So first we're going to flip a quarter. Well, how many possibilities do we have? We have 2. It's heads or tails. Okay, and then we flip a dime. Same thing. We have 2 more. And a nickel. We have heads or tails. And then when we have all of our different possibilities, we multiply them together. So 2 times 2 times 2 would be 8. So we have 8 outcomes. Okay, number 2, how many outcomes are possible when rolling a number cube and picking a cube from 4 different colored cubes? Okay, so again, my first option is I'm rolling a number cube. How many choices do I have? I have 6. Okay, and then I take that times, I'm picking a cube from 4 different colored cubes. So how many options do I have? I have 4. I have 4 different colors. So 6 times 4 is 24 outcomes.